We're in the Sukkah here. Second to last day of Sukkot. And then we got Simchas Torah, which is a separate Chag.
It's not Sukkot.
It's not Sukkot. So we're in Brachas Daf Tes Amud Aleph. Very excited today. Says the gemorah. It's a bit dark in this, so I'll be using my reading glasses. Hashem says to Moshe Rabbeinu, speak to the people that they should borrow good stuff from the mitzvah.
Right.
Tes Amud Aleph, 3 lines from the bottom. Omer Rav Yanai. What does no mean? No means please. That's what no means. Please. Please speak to the people. Hashem begged, he asked, Moshe, please do me a favor. Help me out, Moshe, please. Please borrow. He's asking Am Yisrael, please borrow silver and gold from Egypt.
For what?
When they leave Egypt, they should have silver and gold. They should be rich. But in other words, he had to ask Klal Yisrael, ask nicely, ask the Jews nicely, please ask Klal Yisrael to go and borrow silver and gold. He didn't say.
Who's saying this?
Moshe? Hashem says to Moshe,
yeah,
that he should ask nicely to Klal Yisrael. He should say, please borrow silver and gold.
but we know that when we left Mitzrayim,
They left B'chush Gadol, right?
we took all the stuff.
Right. Why? Because Hashem said to Moshe, they borrowed it. They didn't take it. They borrowed it.
So
they borrowed it.
Still owe it to them?
No. We'll see. We don't know it. In fact, I think there was an Egyptian court case a few years ago. They said the Jews took all of our stuff. They got to give it back to us. And the Israelis said, yeah, so we were slaves for 400 years. Give us first reparations, 400 years of slavery. And then we'll talk about what you asked. So it says in Gemara, last line in the Gemara, you should borrow from them klei kesef klei zav. Shelo yoymar. Why should you borrow klei kesef klei zav? Shelo yoymar tzaddik. That tzaddik shouldn't say who's the tzaddik, who's the righteous person. Avram Avinu, Rashi says. V'ivdum v'avodim v'inu oisom kiyim behem. They were slaves. That part of the Haftacha Hashem kept, but the good part, but Hashem didn't keep the fact they're going to leave with a tremendous wealth. So in other words, I want to keep my Haftacha, I want to keep my promise to the Jews. Hashem always keeps his promises. Look in Tanakh, there's thousands of promises. Hashem always keeps his promises. So they were going to leave empty-handed. Hashem says, I made Haftacha to that tzaddik. You have to leave with what's it called? Leave B'chush Gadol. It implies that there was other ways they could have left B'chush Gadol, but they weren't zeicha to it, or that wasn't going to happen. But it came down to the Haftacha. Hashem gave Haftacha to Avram Avinu. He didn't want Avram Avinu. He doesn't want Avram Avinu to have any tightness. He doesn't want Avram Avinu to have any complaints. How come they left without this B'chush Gadol? You promised B'chush Gadol, they need a B'chush Gadol. So Amrulai, Klal Yisrael said to Moshe, forget about the money. We don't need the money. Halavai, we should just come out by ourselves. We should come out of this alive. We'll be happy. We don't need to come out rich. That's not our point of it. We just want to make it out alive. Mashal, the Gemara for some reason gives a mashal. It's pretty clear. The question is, what do you need the mashal here to explain this for? The Gemara says a mashal. Mashal Adam Shayo Chovesh Bebeis Asurim. You have a man who's locked in prison. So what does he do? They told him, you're going to be free tomorrow with millions of dollars. So the guy in prison says to them, please, get me out of here today. I don't need anything. I don't need your millions. Get me out of here today. Every day is torture. I'm in prison. Get me out of here today. The question is, they ask, is the mashal is not David to the Nimshal. Klal Yisrael wasn't given an option, do you want to leave now with nothing or tomorrow with tons of stuff? In the story, this guy says in the parable, this guy said, "Get me out of prison right now. I don't need to leave tomorrow with chush gadol, with wealth." So what's the mashal? What's the nimshal? How does it connect? So what some explain is the following: Why do they have to take chush gadol? Because Avram Avinu was promised I'll go out with chush gadol. And that's why, because they have to leave chush gadol, that's why they were promised. That's why they didn't say we're leaving Mitzrayim. They didn't say we're leaving Mitzrayim for good. They said we're going to go out on vacation. Give us 3 days. Look in the Pesukim, it doesn't say we're going to leave Mitzrayim. We're out of here. Moshe says to Parai, let us go for 3 days vacation. We're going to serve Hashem, we're going to come back. Why is that? That was in order that they should lend them gold and silver for the big sacrifice. We'll lend it to you. You're coming back in 3 days. You can borrow our stuff. Then Paro is going to be like, hey, these guys are done and runner. They're not coming back after 3 days. He chases after them, cross the Red Sea, the Sea of Reeds, whatever, Yam Suf, and they all die at Yam Suf. The big finale. So what they're saying is we have to only be here now. This whole thing of going with chush gadol is only in order to trap them. They should come chase after us 7 days later at Yam Suf. We don't want the Yam Suf thing. We don't want them chasing after us. We've had enough aggravation till now. 200 years serving as slaves. We don't want them chasing after us in the midbar. We'll leave without anything. We'll leave today with nothing, and they won't chase us. That's what basically they're saying.
They were going to chase them anyway. They didn't want. It wasn't the gold and silver that they were chasing. They were chasing their slaves.
It got them. No, they it was probably how did everyone? How did you rally everyone up? They took everything we have. Let's go get them. It was part of the excitement. L'chaira. That's what you have to say.
Maybe.
They robbed them. You're going to let these people, they robbed us. Yeah, you could say they came after them anyway, we want the slaves, but they came to kill them. They were like, it's not mashma, they were after them just to bring them back as slaves. They thought they were going to kill them all. Take the gold, take all the gold and silver.
The whole thing was manufactured, and no matter what would have happened, manufactured by Hashem, no matter what you would have taken, not taken,
they were going to run after.
It still would have exactly the way.
Okay, this is how Hashem decided to do it. And this is Hashem runs the world naturally, right? So this is how he even though there's a miracle at the end, but he runs the world naturally. That they chased after them because they took all their gold and silver. They took all the gold and silver, so they chased after them. Even if we don't take them as slaves, they're not going to let them get away with it. We want our gold and silver back. They chased after them. So the gemorah says, okay, Vishalom. They asked, they borrowed. Amar of Ami, Melamed Shishilum Balkarchum. What does it mean Vishalum? It should say Vishalu. What does it mean Vishalum? That they asked Balkarchum. They forced them. Ikadami Balkarchum de Mitzrayim. They forced the Egyptians. Ikadami Balkarchum de Israel. The Jews were forced to borrow. They didn't want to take it. They didn't want to take it. Why would the Jews not want to take it? We'll see. Mandam Balkarchum de Mitzrayim Dichsev. V'nevaz beis techalek shalal. They're splitting up the bounty. So it was bounty. They split up the bounty. Mitzrayim didn't want to give it. Mandam b'akacham to Israel. Why would the Jews not want to, have this burden of taking all the gold and silver? Mishum masoi. It's heavy. They're walking in that desert now. They can be wandering around. What do they need a bunch of gold and silver? There's not much they can do with it there.
However,
it's a masoi, huh?
No, but.
There, I heard the interesting pshat. I think some Rebbe said that no one ever understood this gemorah till after the Holocaust, that the Germans wanted to give reparations. And there was a big machlaikas. Many Jews said, don't take a penny from them. Let them burn in hell. We're not taking a penny from these people. So these Jews have been enslaved for thousands of years, hundreds of years. And all of a sudden it's like, let's take their gold and silver. They shouldn't think that they got out, they have our forgiveness. We don't forgive them anything. We were slaves for 200 years. We're not taking their gold and silver. Don't worry, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Take their gold and silver, they'll still get what's coming to them. That's not going to be a forgiveness for them. That's not an atonement because they paid a little bit.
What I want to say is that What did the woman say? I remember it and I forgot again.
Okay, when you remember it, tell me.
remember it, tell me.
So it says in the gemorah, "V'natzlu es Mitzrayim." So, Amar Vami Melamish Osaka Mitzuda. What does it mean v'natzlu? They. What's what v'natzlu mean? They
were saved.
No, it means they. V'natzlu es Mitzrayim. Gosh.
Oh, I know what I want to say. They're going against Hashem. Hashem says, borrow the stuff, take the stuff with you.
Well.
And they're making
They took it. Yeah, they took it. Yeah, they listened to Hashem. They took the gold and silver. They took the gold and silver. Well, they were asked. Hashem said, please. And they did it. They went against their better judgment and they took the gold and silver. It was a commandment. It says the gemorah, V'natzlu es Mitzrayim, that they abused Mitzrayim. Kind of, they used up Mitzrayim. It was like a net. It doesn't have any wheat flour in it. The like a fishing net that doesn't have fish. So Mitzrayim was basically left without any of their gold and silver. Bit of a kasha, because it says when they chased them after in Yam Suf, they brought all their jewelry. Where did that all come from? You have to know. It says the gemorah, Eke Asher Eke, name of Hashem. Hashem says, Hashem says to Moshe, go tell Yisrael that I am Eke Asher Eke. I'm just like I'm with you in this Shibud Malchus, in this Sarah, in Mitzrayim. I'll be with Am Yisrael through all of their Shibud Malchus, whenever they're captured by Goyim, whenever they're tormented by other kings. So Moshe says, it's bad enough that we have to worry about what's going on now. We have to worry about the Spanish Inquisition, about the Holocaust, about the Churban Beis Hamikdash. Give them a break, right? So tell them, you're right. Just Eke, that I'm with you during this aggravation that you have. Not that there's going to be other aggravations, I'll be with you then also. In other words, what the Bali must say is, look how amazing this is. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the master of the world, he has a plan. Tell them, Eke Asher Eke. Moshe says, not a good idea. And he says, okay, you're right. How us humans have to be willing to accept rebuke from people who are way lower than us. If they're telling us something that's true, we take it. You have to take it, however hard it may seem. And it's impossible. It's very hard when someone who you know is like doesn't come. He's a child. A child comes over to you, someone who's mentally immature, and he starts giving you mercy. He tells you how to live your life, what you should be doing, and you think to yourself, who are you? How do you know what to do? So, learn from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, learn from the Master of the World himself. He wanted to tell them Eke Asher Eke, and Moshe said, no, just, hey, it's unbelievable, marshal. Says the gemorah, Aneni Hashem Aneni. This is Eliyahu Hanavi says this. Please Hashem answer my prayers. When there's a big fight between the people who worship Baal and the Jews, they're all Jews, but the Jews who worship Baal and those who were worshiping HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and people didn't know what to do. Should they serve Baal? There was an idol was going on for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. They have thousands of these Baal little idols running around the place, all over the place. And Jews worshiping Baal, it was the Avodah Zarah for 1,000 years, right? It's lahavdil, there's other religions though, if the Avodah Zarah has been going on for
Buddha,
even longer than Baal. But Baal was for 1,000, maybe even longer years. So Eliyahu Hanavi, he brings all his korbanos. They pour water on this thing, they pour water again and again and again and again. The thing is swimming in water, and the fire comes down from heaven, burns up the whole thing. Right? That's the crazy story. So what was Eliyahu Hanavi's tefillah? Eliyahu said, Elijah said, Aneni Hashem Aneni. Answer my prayers, answer my prayers. So why did it say twice, answer my prayers? Aneni Hashem, Aneni Hashem, Aneni, answer my prayers, Hashem, answer my prayers. Why is it twice Aneni? So it says the gemorah, Amar Ravo, Lama Amar Eliyahu Aneni Beis Pamim. Why did he say twice Aneni? Melamed Sha'amar Eliyahu Tekadosh Baruch Hu. It's coming to teach me that Eliyahu said to Hashem, Rebbeinu Shleilah, Master of the world, Aneni Shetei Yodesh Min Hashemayim. Please answer my prayers. A fire should come down from heaven and burn this sacrifice. It should consume everything. And the fire came down and burned the whole mizbech, everything went up in smoke. There was nothing left. V'aneni, and answer my prayer, that you should confuse them. You should take away their das for a second. You should take away their intellect for a few seconds. They shouldn't say, you know how he did it? It was what's the word? Kshofim. This was magic. It was black magic. You did it with black magic. So even though he did this incredible miracle, and the Nevi'ei Baal, they were there for days trying to get them, the whole day they were there screaming and screaming to bring their korban, nothing happened. But still, even when Hashem does a crazy miracle, this is what we see from his gemorah. Hashem can do a crazy miracle. Israel can destroy Iran in 12 days. You'll have people that are saying, no, it wasn't from Hashem. This was Ma'aseh Kshafim. This was, demons. This is the army. It's all Hashem. It's all Hashem running the world. But you can have open miracles, open miracles. People say, no, it's natural. It happens. It happens once in a while. It happens once every million years that whatever happens. So you need to even have Hashem has to even if he does a miracle, he's got to put a switch in you that you see it. You got to be able to see it. We're able to twist everything. Says the gemorah, we're back to brachas. We're back to Shema. So we finished the first Mishnah in Shas, second Mishnah in Shas. We should make a siyum, no?
No. You know the famous story.
I know a lot of famous stories.
The famous story of the guy who went to Ramesh. I don't remember. He said, my father, I've learned 40 times this daf with my father. You want to make a siyum? It's the only daf he's done in Gemara. Ramesh says, no, make a siyum. He made a siyum. He died that night, his father.
Wow. Says the Gemara, so when do you say Krishma in the morning? When you say Krishma, when you can tell the difference between the color blue and white. When you can tell the difference between blue and green. Blue and green. When is the end time you can say Krishma? Netzachama. Imagine, we have to all get up before Netzachama, before sunrise, to say Krishma. After Netzachama, you blew it. Too late. No. Thank God we don't pass like that. You got 3 hours into the day. Shekain, 3 hours isn't even enough. Shekain derech malachim lamed b'shalosh. Since malachim, since the kings get up 3 hours into the day, people have nothing to do. They're rich. They don't have to go to work. They got up 3 hours into the day. They get up, let's say sunrise is 6:30 a.m. They get up 9:30 a.m. So that's still considered, the Torah says, uvkumecha, when you get up. People are still getting up. Kings are still getting up 9 a.m., 3 hours into the day. So therefore, you can still say Krishma 3 hours into the day. After 3 hours, Lo Yivsid, you didn't lose. You're still learning Torah. Krishma is Torah. You're still. You're in Torah. The question is what is this? What is this business? Why would Krishma be tali in? Why can you only say Krishma when you can tell the difference between Lavan and Tcheles? Why? What does Krishma have to do with the difference between seeing between Lavan and Tcheles? Why is that the Zman? It's a good question, no. So I never.
1 second. I have a fundamental problem.
Pepsi.
Yeah. In WhatsApp, you look at WhatsApp, right, and you have a blue check mark and a white check mark. I can never tell whether it's white or blue. But that's the son of me. But there's a certain Indian.
Because it's very small. So we're going to see in a second.
Well, besides
you're
very
making
small,
you're making a very valid point.
It's very similar.
The reason why you can't tell the difference is because of the size of it.
Maybe.
If it would be a big blue thing or a big white thing, you tell the difference. And we're going to see in a second tomorrow. You're making a very important point, and that's exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's exactly what the Gemara was going to say, and I didn't understand it. Now I understand it clearly. Now you, mamish. You said beautifully. So I want to say, what's the difference between Lavan and Tcheles? Why is this man Krishma Mishyake ben Lavan and Tcheles? So what the Achronim says, you know why? Because you're supposed to be wearing tzitzis, and the tzitzis has Tcheles. And in Krishma, what do you say? You say, you should see this, it's Uzchartem. And there's actually Gemara that says, what does it mean Uzchartem? You should see in Tcheles, Uzchartem, to say Krishma. So the Tcheles is supposed to remind you to say Krishma. Again, the Tcheles, or Isimai, so you should see the Tcheles, Uzchartem to say Krishma. So now you're wearing Tcheles. Oh, I should say Krishma, because in Krishma, you have the parsha of the tzitzis of the Tcheles. So the Tcheles is to remind you to say Krishma. So when should you say Krishma? That's his man. When you could be in Yaakov and love the Tcheles. Oh, I've got Tcheles. Time to say Krishma. Before then, it's not the time of the tzitzis. It's not the time of the Tcheles. You can't see the Tcheles.
But white should remind you also.
But you can't.
If you want to go that route.
No, because it says the reason why he's talking about the Tcheles. The Tcheles is to remind you. You see the Tcheles, it reminds you of Kisya Kavod, it reminds you of... the Tcheles is what's supposed to remind you of all these things. Also the white's supposed to remind you of other things, but Rishonim said, this is what this gemorah says. Rishonim say, you're right. How do you know that it's not talking about the Lavan? The Lavan's supposed to remind you. Very good kasha. A good kasha. I like it. Okay, we'll see tomorrow. We can continue. It's already 9. It's already 9 o'clock. I don't know. Can we carry on going?
They're going to start 7 soon.
So we'll just do one line in the Gemara. It's very important. One line. We'll start the Gemara. My ben Tcheles and Lavan. What do you mean you have to see the difference between Tcheles and Lavan? That I want to bring out. This is your point. If you're talking about the difference between a bundle of white wool and a big bundle of blue wool, right? Made the other. Even at night, you go outside, you can see the difference between a bundle of white and a bundle of blue wool. It's talking about a small amount. In the bundle, you've got a little bit of blue. That's what we're talking about. You can see the blue in a bundle of wool. In other words, you can see your blue tzitzis on your strings. Of course, you don't have to see a whole bundle. A bundle, even at night, you can see a bundle if it's blue or white. When you're going outside at night, you can see if something's a dark car or a light car, right? If it's big enough. So that's got nothing to do with daytime. So when are we talking about you can see the difference between blue and white? It's talking about a thin string. This is what you were saying. Why you can't tell the blue check? Because it's too small. We'll just do one more line. Tanya may ben Zev lekelev. No, it's going to do with blue and white. You know what it is? We can tell the difference between a wolf and a dog, or between a donkey and a different type of donkey. When you can tell a friend from 4 amas away, you recognize him. So what do all these shittas have in common? What's going on there? Recognition. Meaning what? They're not doish the pasuk or isimay zachatem. They're learned for the pasuk of belechcha baderech. When do you say Krishma? When you go on a journey. To go on a journey, you don't leave the house if you can't tell if it's a dog or a wolf. Dangerous. Once you can see if it's a dog or a wolf, then you go on a journey. Others say no. And our ride is also dangerous. People don't start traveling till they tell the between a dog and between a donkey and a ride. So what? When do people start going out in the morning? When they recognize someone, is that guy a gangster? Is he a crook? Or is it my friend? So when you can start seeing people, who is it? Is he a friend or not your friend? That's when people travel. That's the whole idea. That's what these shiur matalian. When is it safe to travel? Okay, well then to have a wonderful day.